Okay. Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Greetings. We
Welcome.
are Circle of Sisters podcast, our spiritual table talk, our sister circle that's here to speak out while fixing crowns in the process. My name is Sacred Woman Practitioner Sherry Unk. I am here with my beautiful sister, Sacred Woman
Chantel.
Practitioner Chantel Sierta Shakim. I love it because I didn't finally learn how to say it, y'all.
Yes, yes. And we are welcoming you to today's episode of Impeccable Timing. How
That's
about
right.
that? As we mentioned this week, we are covering all of the principles leading up into our final principle of the work, which we will start tomorrow. We are super excited to dive into this subject. So when we think about impeccable timing, I'm often reminded of how we always want to plan things, right? We always want to have a plan, how it's supposed to go, what steps we're doing. And sometimes those plans don't always work out the way we envision or the way we imagine. So impeccable time begins to take in all the things that could impact your time, and then how things begin to reveal themselves in the right time. So, where would you take us with that, sister?
So look, let me take you right back at the beginning, right? So at the beginning of time, there was no time, right?
No time.
We didn't go by what we know now as a conventional clock. The source of time, or the way we measured time, was based on what was happening in the sky, in the universe.
Yes,
And
yes,
so the sun rising indicated a particular time, and the sun falling indicated a specific time of day. In order for us to calculate time as far as a cycle, we would calculate time using the moon, because the moon goes through multiple cycles in a 28-day period, which basically is how we measure time back in the days, right? Well,
yes,
nowadays, in order for us all over the world, coast to coast, as sister and I are, in order for us to synchronize our time, we have developed a timing system to where we know at a particular time, which is 3 p.m. my time, and it's 6 her time. These are the times that we can connect, we will be able to get together. Now, understanding that time is just part of the battle. Really, the
but
deep work comes within understanding what times to move when and how to move during specific periods of time in order to make the most of your time. I feel like I said time like 100 times
look,
during that.
time after time, when you
Exactly.
look, you will find it.
I will be
Time
waiting.
after time.
Time
Yes,
after time. But yeah, so that is how we calculate time. And we have a basic sense of time connecting our schedule. But to really move effectively and to be in alignment with nature and the Most High, there's specific times a day, or times of the month that are great for certain things. So when you're planning your schedule, you can really plan more effectively. What would you want to add to that, sis?
Yes, yes. So in this principle, we really do dive into the cycles of the moon. And then within that, we also kind of connect that cycle of the moon to our bodies and how our bodies should regulate according to the moon cycle. And with that, a new term that some may not be familiar with is the moon cycle of your ovulation or your menses. So this is a cycle that should in fact align with the moon. So when you're at your highest vibration, your body will mimic that in helping you see, okay, we're going through, as I saw on one of the reels that came through, our bodies is going through these seasons. And the seasons correspond with the time that we are reflecting and we are creating and we're cultivating an environment to give birth to something. So, yeah, this is where
Absolutely.
you connect the dots.
I love that you brought that up, because as a queen, a woman, synchronizing our activities with our moon cycle is extremely important in really aligning yourself spiritually to the activities that you will be doing, or to the schedule that you're holding yourself to, in order to gain more productivity in your schedule, in order to be in the right spirit for the schedule. We know that, if we're at the heaviest day of our cycle, that might not be a day that we want to plan a marathon to go jogging. We may not be in the best of mood. It may not be the right time of the flow for us to be out there with skin tight pants on. There could be a variety of reasons, and this is why we go into really understanding your personal clock, because
Yeah.
that's the way that I like to look at the moon cycle. That is your personal clock. And there's plenty of information that we'll give you in regards to the time, of I should say, your cycle and what that means. So I'll give you an example. Um, a lot of people understand in like different movies, they'll say, "Oh, it's a full moon, and so the woman is getting sexy. She's ready to copulate, or have relations with her man because it's a full not moon and she's feeling more sexual." Well, many women during the full moon ovulate, so it would be a time that they feel more sexual, which is why in most Western society, um, culturally, they make all of the innuendos about it's a full moon, get with your boo, are you feeling frisky tonight, and all of those things, because they've noticed they've noticed throughout the years that a large percentage of babies are conceived during a full moon, basically based on the I should say communal average of when uh, most women are on their cycle, or are ovulating, I should say.
Mhm.
And so there are various things that can happen during a full moon. There's various things that you want to be cultivating during a full moon, in addition to manifesting the baby, if that is in flow with your cycle.
Ashe, ashe. So when we begin to think of the full moon, we think of that as a time where some people say it's the time to release. Some people say it's the time to cultivate or to set intentions. I say they're both, right? In the energy of the full moon, yes, it's full, it's bright. You can see what you're releasing. But in that space too, clarity, focus, and what comes next is also able to be cultivated in that space. And then you set a plan in place that you can move it into the cycle of the new moon. And the new moon, sometimes they say, is more of the time that you write your intentions. Give it a time to say, by the next full moon, this will be presented. So this is the new moon is more like your ovulation period, where
Mhm.
you're beginning to say, okay, what am I wanting to birth? What am I wanting to create? What's coming to the surface, so that it's making itself aware to me that I may want to let it go, or that I may want to birth it so that I can reap the benefit of it. So either way, these two full moon energies the new moon and the full moon are really, really beautiful places to come to yourself, really come back into your heart space, come into what it is you want to experience. What is it that you've been battling? Or what is it that that last full moon showed you that you're like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I need to start making a plan for something different. So it's really about really in tuning with nature and attuning your time and the way you show up with nature as well.
So I love that you said that in regards to the moon phase. Let me take this to you all with in regards to your cycle, because that's one of the clocks that's our internal clock for some of you women who still experience a cycle. One of the things that I started to do, which really helped to bring me into alignment with myself and my goals and really help me execute goals timely and do the things that I needed to do, is I thought of my cycle as a detox, which it is. It is your womb spiritually detoxing itself. And so during my cycle, I observe release. That's usually the time where I'm cleaning out the house, I'm clearing out stuff, I'm letting things go, I'm removing projects off the table or off the schedule. Because my body is in that transition, it's easier for me to focus that in other aspects of my life. Okay, so what else do I need to release, purge, detox, or cleanse during that time? Then when we go into a space where I'm ovulating, right? So there's some time that has passed by, and now I'm ovulating. That's a creative time. That's the time where I might want to be journaling and writing down some of the thoughts and things that I want to manifest, you know, for the next cycle or whatever. That's the time that I'm utilizing that creative energy, because naturally, in my natural state, I am in that energy. And for those of us who don't have a cycle, your body still completes that cycle. So
Yeah.
even if you don't have a physical cycle that you can see, that's the same thing with your hormonal changes that are happening. That is your body's clock telling you, "Ooh, okay, this might be a time where I'm feeling real creative. I'm going to go sit and make me some waist beads of my own this time."
Yeah.
Or, I'm feeling like I need to let some stuff go. I'm just gonna sit here and organize my shoe closet or whatever. I'm gonna do these things when we align our task. I think our schedule with our natural, what they call circadian rhythm, your natural rhythm and flow. You tend to execute a lot better than if you're off of alignment. It's a lot stressful of an execution process of getting things actually done.
Yes, let's talk about that period before your period, right? That period where a lot of women go through those emotional ups and downs, right? Before you even begin to ovulate or before you be right before you go to releasing, you get these emotions coming up, right? This is where we have those pre-period, headaches, cramping, whatever that leads up into it. Those are those times where things are coming up where it's like, okay, when we release this time, this is what you're going to get rid of. So being able to understand the timing and the impeccable timing by being aware of your body, being aware of what your womb is doing and what your womb is saying to you is really, really, really what most of this principle is about. Understanding how we are in our physical bodies reflect the energies that are being put out within nature and how we have to become in rhythm with it so that things will flow, that
Ab-
they will flow easily, and that your periods don't have to last weeks and months because you have so much that you're trying to get rid of that you have stuck in there. So, yeah, we're breaking it up
We're
and we're
breaking it.
utilizing the energy to help us release, and then those releases will be smaller and smaller, but you'll be expanding more to be able to work with your time in a more beneficial way.
Absolutely. This is really a time where we understand how nature connects with our bodies, and not just how nature connects with our bodies in regards of how we feel, but how that plays out in real time within our lives. One of the simple practices that we have you focus on, which is a simple yet powerful practice, is really understanding the times of days where you should probably focus your energy. So we talked a lot about some of the deeper things to do, but there are specific times of days where you want to focus your energy, meaning when you arise, that may be the time for you to really sit with yourself, get clear about what your focus is for the day, get clear about the things you want to execute today, so that the rest of the day will flow accordingly. And then we go into different periods of the day, what's good for that time of the day, what are good things to be working on. I'll save those good nuggets for the rights of, I'm sorry, for the program when you actually go into the principle a little deeper. That way you can really practice it out in real time. So we
Yes.
give you all of the information so that you can really understand what time is, how time works in relation to you, and really how to create um, your own schedule based on your biological clock, as they say, or your biological time. Because
Yes.
when we synchronize our time, um, with our natural rhythm and our natural flow, we place ourselves in alignment with the blessings we're supposed to get. I want to give you guys a little story. This just happened to me a few months ago. I was looking for a place to move. I've been at my current place for a few years now. The owner has gone back and forth saying she wants to sell. So this last time I got fed up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move. And so I started looking to move. And in the process, I saw a beautiful apartment, luxury apartment, all the bells and whistles. But I was at the time looking for a home. I wanted a house. I was just thinking, oh, I just want the house. I just want the house. And all the houses I were looking at was falling through, but I still in the back in the corner of my mind, I had this luxury apartment. Now the luxury apartment would have really placed me in a better financial position than I'm in right now, because it would have been more affordable, it would have been less rent, and it would have been less rent and bills from where I was looking. But I had my head set on one particular thing, and I wasn't realizing energetically that there was divine timing happening to allow me to be able to get an apartment that I would not have been able to afford or be able to even be considered for prior to, or now in hindsight, since I didn't take it. Even now afterwards, it's more of a struggle, when at the time I was originally looking at this apartment, the it was impeccable timing. There was a clear path for me to go in that direction. And because at the time I was feeling a lot off centered, I was stressed out about the move, so I wasn't really planning things according to my flow. I wasn't really doing all the things that I know to do because I was overwhelmed. I didn't even recognize that there was something that divinely mapped itself out for me. I couldn't even recognize that because I was stressed. And when you're stressed, who takes charge? The ego. Your shadow takes charge. And so these are the things that we can really help ourselves out when we get into those daily habits and daily patterns. And like I said, this just happened a couple of months ago. So it recycles, it repeats until you get really strong on your square, and realize, like, I got to follow the flow, because then I'll be able to see the blessings as they're coming towards me. I'll be able to match that flow and understand which direction to go in. And because I was feeling chaotic, because I was thrown off, and I was just kind of running with really not with purpose but not intention, right? I was
Right.
running with purpose but not intention. I missed an opportunity that was probably a great opportunity. And now, in hindsight, I'm sitting back like, probably should have took that apartment. I probably should have did that, because now I'm in a clear headspace. Now I'm back on rhythm. Now I'm getting those things done, and spirit is like, okay, look, here's where you made the mistake. Here's where
Right.
you didn't follow, you didn't pay attention. Get on track, get on time, get in rhythm, get on schedule. So you won't be flustered when that which you're looking for comes gift wrapped.
And it shows up right in our world. And like you said, we're distracted, right? There's the
Mhm.
distractions that come in that really can steal our time.
Right.
And then we miss those timings of impeccable timing. But then on the flip side of it, it just helps to hone us in on, okay, yeah, I needed that lesson so that I can be prepared next time to stay aligned with the goal. I see that in just a lot of ways where people show up with an intention, with a loosely set intention of what they want to do, but they don't really know how to do it or how it's going to unfold. So they're just kind of fly by night going through the motions, and then they're still not staying focused on the things they need to do so that when it comes, they're aware and they can move right into it with ease and flow. So that is how we kind of really begin to work with impeccable timing, looking at our situations, going back in our past and recalling situations where we now can see clearer on, okay, this was a timing that if I was more aligned, I could have easily flown into that space. But because my timing has been a little bit off, because of my intentions or because of the expectation or because of my feelings of worthiness or because of just plain old distractions that don't even have nothing to do with my goal, I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely a great place where you can really start looking at your life and planning it accordingly. And no matter what comes in, you're able to stay focused, but also in flow, knowing that the right time always happens at the right time. There's no missed opportunities, really. They're just opportunities to prepare us for the next opportunity. So
Absolutely.
this is where it gets interesting because as the queen on your throne, it's your time. This
Yeah.
is your time. And it's your time to begin to work with it in a way that supports your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and also allows you to sit in a space of caring for yourself. I know we talked about briefly about honoring the time. And really, for most of us, our days start so quickly and it's all about, oh, your March gets said go and you're just out the door and it's so many other things you have to do. So one way that you can support yourself in being in impeccable timing is to get up a little bit earlier. If you get up at a certain time to get your kids ready and start getting ready yourself for work or for school or for whatever you have planned for your day, try getting up an hour earlier for you, for nothing more than you, to sit with yourself, to examine your day, to set an intention for your day, and then go about your daily activities from that space. When we begin to set intentions for ourselves and put things in place that support us, the sky's the limit because now you've you've set aside that intention for your day, undistracted, uninterrupted, and that's one ritual that you can constantly make a part of your life that will take you so many places that you want to go.
Absolutely. You know, as you were talking, there was something, one of my affirmations that was just playing over and over and over in my head, and this is something that I have to remind myself very often. Time is energy, and energy is currency. We are constantly giving away our time, and we don't understand how valuable our time is, right? Just think about your heart as an organ. If your heart had the timer on it, right? If your heart had a timer attached to it, then all of the energy that it's giving out, all is time, you know, and that works the same as money. And all of these things are interconnected. And I think that a lot of us are waiting for the time of our abundance to come through when we don't understand it's right inside of us.
Right.
Our time is our energy. Our energy is our currency. What we spend our time thinking about, feeling, doing, visualizing is what we put our energy into. What we put our energy into is what we create, what we build, what we manifest, and that's what we
Yes.
birth. So our
Yes.
time is our energy and our currency, and I love to remind myself of that because I know I spend a lot of idle time. I spend a lot of idle time either distracted, scrolling or doing something. Many of us waste time. You even mentioned the 4 hours. I need that app, by the way. You even mentioned the app
Yes.
that tells you how long you've been on. We give up our time. I don't want to say waste our time. We give up our time freely without understanding that that is energetic currency. And so we have to organize our time in such a way that it brings forth the abundance that we are calling for, whether that's abundance of friendship, of love, of actual currency and finances, whatever abundance you are looking for that's directly linked to the time that you put your energy, the time that you spend with your energy directed towards that goal. And so
That's true.
I'm very, very grateful to have this time, right? This divine time to sit with you all and tell you about the principles that we truly honor in everyday life. Some days are better than others. Some
Yes.
weeks are better than others, right? But when you start to see things work and shift within your life, you have to move forward in those areas. And there is no time like the present. There is no time like now. I remember I read somewhere they said it's called the present because it's a gift. And
Ashe.
so we spend so much time thinking about who we were in the past or trying to figure out who we want to be in the future that we really don't stick with the now. And right now, the most high spiritual ancestors, if we popped up on your timeline, I'm telling you right now is the time for you to take the time for yourself. This
Yes.
12-week journey of really understanding yourself on so many different levels. And when you put that rhythm, that knowing, with natural time and you synchronize yourself with the universe,
All the way up. Nothing can
all the
stop
way
you.
up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Yes, that is it. You are all the way up.
Yes, this is a really, really, really beautiful, beautiful principle of really aligning with impeccable time, knowing that the time is now, right? We limit ourselves so much by thinking that we have to wait for tomorrow. We have to wait for next year. We have to wait for this. We have to wait for that. But it's a decision, right? And sometimes it takes us working our way up to the understanding that it's a decision, but being able to be fortified in all of the other principles as you get to here, it's like, wow, this is a real concept, right? When you sit and you think about, okay, how do I use my time? And what do I use my time for? And
Mm.
how is that time being spent bringing back to me forms of abundance? And you hit on that when you said time is money. And I laugh at that because, America and our $1 trillion deficit and everybody chasing a bag, but ain't nobody got nothing in the bag. It's like, okay, let's really think about where that bag is. What is the bag that I'm chasing? Am I chasing managing my time in a way that brings me joy, brings me happiness, brings me bliss, allows me to feel like I'm impacting and inspiring myself and others in the things that I'm doing with my time? That's where the value is. That's where the money is. That's where everything that I desire is really being formed by. So we have to really zoom out, right? And zoom out even further to begin to see where we can utilize impeccable timing in our life to show up or to not show up, to choose to do something or choose not to do something. It's just, being in flow with that. Being in flow in that with that in a way that, okay, I know this is what I want to do. I know without a doubt that this is where my life should be going. Okay, what can I do today to get me there? We're quick to find out things that delay us, but we don't often take the time to see how time allows us to be more successful, right? Putting things off, procrastinating, self-sabotage, our beliefs that maybe it's not something that I should be doing, but feeling inspired. We have to move as the energy moves us. We have to move in the direction that we think we are supposed to be in until time shows us something else. So this is really, really a walk of creating the life you want to live, being impeccable about the plan, and really feeling confident and worthy enough to walk it out. So this is definitely some beautiful, beautiful. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful
Absolutely.
time to just reflect on your life, reflect on your accomplishments, reflect on the things you still wish to accomplish, because it's never too late. If you have the thought, as Lady Unc had said, thoughts become things. But those thoughts can become things even at a low vibration, because you're not putting your thoughts on the good. So it's really a mind shift as well. So when you shift your mind, you shift your reality for sure. And this is really where we take some real practical tools and blend it with spirituality and see how it really creates a world of holistic health for us and for those in our families, in our reach, because now we begin to allow our life to be a mirror even to them.
Absolutely. Divine reflections, as we always say.
That part.
I wanted, because you said look, you had said something, and just as you said it, I was shuffling some cards, and a card
Okay.
popped out. So you said look at, I think you said something about look at what Callie, I'm on live. Can I do this first?
Uh-huh.
She said, uh-huh. So as you were talking about, getting a clear vision, this card came out, and it is the full moon in Sagittarius, and it says, look at the big picture. Look
Yes.
at the big picture. Um, and I wanted to read a little bit of what it says in regards to this. Um, Thank Callie, you made me lose my page. Oh, the teaching. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there is a big, wide world to see beyond our backyard. It is about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture. And that's really what we're asking you to do within this program, within these principles, is to look at the big picture. We've microchipped, pulled apart all of the pieces and areas of life that we want you to look at, and we really want you to be able to paint a big picture of what you envision your life to look like. And you can do that once you start to cipher through all of the things, all of the murk, all of the mud, all of the areas and traumas and triggers that we've swept under the rug. Now is the time where we are looking at that stuff, reflecting on that stuff so that we can see the big picture. Ooh, what does
And
all of this mean for me in this next phase of life that I'm going to? How is that going to strengthen my walk at this next level of myself as I step into my queendom, as I
yes.
embrace the inner queen? how is that going to play out for me in real time? How in real time right now, with all that I've gone through, with all that I've experienced, with all that I've uncovered about myself, with all that I've revealed and restored within myself, how am I now going to show up? Because now is the time for that version of me to show up. And looking at this card and seeing the card, it has, I don't know if you can see it really good, but it's the picture of the moon with the Sagittarius bow and arrow. And whenever I think of the bow and arrow, it's like hitting the target, right? It's like I'm ready to not only protect myself, but I'm gonna hit the goal. I'm gonna hit the target. And so we're here to support that. We are really here and truly here to support you hitting the target, hitting the goal. This
Can
is
I?
the time. Go ahead,
Yes.
sis.
I'm going to interject real quick. We do have, thank you guys who are all in the room listening. We had a comment come through
Oh yeah.
around the time of waking up early. Maisha says, waking up earlier is so hard. So
Uh,
sis, we have been there and we definitely get it. And it's also hard to go through your day not knowing what's going on. It's also hard going through the day without setting a time for yourself, right? So this is like the exchange and saying, you know what, I'm worth it and I am doing this for me. Yes, my sleep is important too, right? But knowing that you taking, even if it's not even an hour earlier, but even 30 minutes, a time set aside for you. If you can't do it in the morning and that doesn't really flow with you, take it at night. Lay down the phone, lay down, put the kids to bed, and then give yourself that undivided time. Because there are some people who, maybe work night shift and they don't go to bed early or whatever. They get up early already or they're already up in the morning. So it's not like that, but it's really being intentional about taking the time for you. And during that time, setting those things in motion of what your next day would look like. And it's all the intentionality of it and making sure you're doing it every day for you. Because that goes back to like putting the mask on yourself first when you're in the airplane and they give you those
mm-hmm.
instructions. If we were to
For safety.
lose pressure in the building, if we're to lose pressure in the airplane and you are with a little one who depends on you, you must put the oxygen bag on you first and then on your children or
Mm-hmm.
then on the next thing that's requiring your attention. Because if we're constantly out here with very little oxygen or in our own cups or in our own lungs, it's a matter of time before we gonna give out. So this is the practice of taking that time for you. And there's nothing more, there's nothing more important than doing that. I mean, we will take time and make time for everybody. But how often are we taking time and making time for us? You are the number one priority. And as women, we are so much givers. We're givers and we want to give and give and give and show up and do and do and do. And it's like, oh, we're doing this because of what other people think or what other people expect. But are you really doing it for you? Or what are you doing for you? So, yeah, building on that is a big, big, big kudos.
I want to add to that as well. So I too struggle with the getting up early, sometimes. And that's usually because my schedule's been so hectic, I've been ripping and running. But when I get into the habit of rising early regularly, and those first couple days, maybe that first week is very difficult. But when you get in the habit of waking up earlier, it shifts the energy all day long. When I allow myself to have that extra hour in the morning before getting the kids up, I'm not as hurrying up and rushing them. I'm not like, hurry up, put this on. Did you brush your teeth? I don't feel as rushed because I had time to do everything I needed to do for myself. Then when it comes to the kids, I actually learned that I need to get them up a little bit earlier so they can slowly open their eyes, wake up, so that I'm not rushing them because I got them up at the last possible minute to get them dressed and off to school. And when we give ourselves, our families, time to really wake up, because you be up and you be doing the motions, but you don't really be up. When you give yourself that time, then it does help to prepare the rest of the day to stay on track, to stay on schedule. And so it is hard at first. I agree with you on that. But I believe that once you get in the rhythm of it, it makes the day go so much smoother. It's definitely worth that sacrifice that you have those first couple of days that you're getting used to it or your body's rhythm is getting used to it. Any more questions? I love questions.
Um, yes. No, she said that's what you have been telling her for years. So give thanks. She said she hears us loud and clear. So yeah, this timing, I tell you, is really, really, really an important thing to become aware of, right? And to really like what's her name? Maxine Waters said, reclaim your
Reclaiming my
time,
time.
honey.
Okay.
We are reclaiming our time because there are things that we really need to get control over. You
Mhm.
know, when you think of it in a big scale, I used to remember how, I used to work 12-hour shifts. And in those 12-hour shifts, I had an hour commute, an hour commute there and an hour commute after. So 12, 13, 14. Don't let it be end up my 12-hour shift being a 15-hour shift, being a nurse and having to do my charting and all of that. And that's 15 hours of my day already. Then to add on my commute, 15, 16, 17 hours already gone. And then I still haven't slept. I still haven't cooked dinner. I still haven't done anything else for myself or for my family. So it began to be a little bit much. It's like, okay, how can I reclaim my time in this way? Because I'm constantly showing up in a way where it doesn't seem like I have time. So really beginning to, go to sleep earlier, make sure I wake up a little earlier and really get into the flow of how I wish my day to go. And it became easier and easier and easier as we really intentionally reclaim our time and not feel like we owe someone more than what we're going to give ourselves. Because first off, you owe yourself more than anything, then more you owe more to yourself than to anyone else, whether that be a job, whether that be a spouse, whether it be your children. You owe it to yourself first.
Me first thing you. Ain't that what we've been echoing
Yes,
over the
yes.
course of the last few days? We've been echoing that sentiment because really, in order for you to be effective in any aspect of your life, you really have to truly take care of you. As melanated women throughout the diaspora, no matter where you fall within the planet, okay, we have been taught to minimize our complaining, suck it up, and just do and just go and just serve, really. And we do that so much to the detriment of our own selves that we are seeing so many of our sisters taken out of here way too early, way too soon. And it's really because of the lifestyles that we're leading and the amount of energetic output we are giving to those around us without replenishing our cup, without checking in with ourselves, without looking to see what things we need to shift in our lifestyles, in our lives, in our reality, so that we can be whole, happy, healthy on our own. Because of that, we're getting taken out of here a lot sooner than we'd like to. Our health is deteriorating. We see a high rate of people getting sick, which is taking time off their clock. I don't think that it's a coincidence that at a time where we are um, open and available to receive so much information from so many different areas, that so many women are becoming sick is because really, once you know, you got to do the work. It really ain't no way to say, okay, yeah, but I ain't ready for that yet. Yeah, but you
Look,
came into the awareness.
you got to go, sis. You got to go where you're being pushed, where you're being awakened to, okay, how can I manage this differently? And it may change your whole world. I'm not going to say it may, it will change your whole world. Who you thought you were, how you thought you were supposed to function, all of that may get flipped upside down. And then you begin to build a new idea of how you want to work, how you want to flow, how you want your life to be. And it takes knowing the tools, right? Having the tools, but it also takes the knowing, right?
Mhm.
When you really know that this ain't for me. This what I'm doing, it's wearing me down. Your body's going to tell you. You're going to know it.
Mhm.
And that's when you have to take the pause. You have to be the change you wish to see. And it has to start with me, right? I'm the change I wish to see. And I know without a doubt it starts with me. So those are certain little things, words, affirmations that I have really began to use that have truly helped support me in growing and in expanding and truly building the queendom, building my queendom, and being open to receive what's there for me, which is so beautiful, so much more than I could even ask or imagine. But I had to take the first step. And don't get me wrong, I take that first step with my knees buckling, shaking, like, okay, I'm just going to step on out there because I know, even though I don't know all the steps, but as I take one step, something else is going to present itself and something else. And it's a trust thing. It's a trust walk. It's a trust walk or a trust build because you have to really begin to trust yourself. And it's an everyday walk. It's an everyday journey. But being impeccable about, okay, I want to use my time the best way possible, and building from all of the other tools and all of the other um, techniques to support yourself that we teach in this journey, and having the sister friends and people to reflect back to you the identical thing that you're going through gives you more ability to be fortified, gives you more
You
tenacity to say, you know what, I see her, she over there doing it, she is doing it and doing it with her knees shaking too, but
doing
look,
it and doing it and doing it well. Is that how I go? I don't
yes, straight out of Brooklyn, right? Or straight out of Georgia for me. But it's just we want to make this fun. We do start tomorrow with our cohort. It is such encouraging time to see the women who have shown up and who want to be participating in this cohort. Again, if you still have an idea that maybe this is for you, we're going to extend the invite to come and join us. Please go to the website, sign up, DM us. Let us know you still want to participate, and we'll get you on track to join us in this second cohort. If the 12 weeks is a huge commitment for you and that's not going to work with your schedule, we are still opening up the retreat space for March the 28th through the 31st,
Mhm.
for you to join us there. And we will give you a little bit of the tools, and you'll get to see these women who have chosen to do the journey this time do their graduation. And it's just going to be a wealth of information, just even if you take the first step. To continue to watch us on the podcast, we're going to start going in other directions with other information. But these 12 classes and these first 12 podcasts was all about introducing you to embracing the queen within and really piquing your interest in changing your life for the better, and maybe just in just enriching your life as it already is.
As it
Because
already is.
Because a lot of us are already doing this work. We've been on these spiritual journeys and spiritual paths. And, it's like we get one step up and then something pulls us down, and we get two steps up and we go back one. But it's to know that you're on track. You're on track. The time is always now. There's not a time in the future that it's going to be better than it is today, unless you've already seen it, unless you've already taken the steps to plan it, and that you're living it in your right now experience. Because we delay things from coming to us because we visualize it, and then we put it so far off that it's like, oh, this ain't never gonna happen. And that energy steals from the energy of, you already saw it. If you saw it, it's yours. You need to be cultivating it, living in it like it is right now, and fixing
Absolutely.
your life to align with that.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are still interested, like we mentioned, there is still time. If your schedule doesn't align perfectly for the time of our live trainings, they're recorded. So you can watch the replay. And so you can still go through the 12 weeks with us at your own pace, at your own speed. We are super, super excited to present this offering to our circle of sisters.
Yes,
Circle of
yes.
sisters. We are so excited. It is, as always, a pleasure to be with you, to sit with you, to commune with you, and to share a little bit of my knowledge with you. I am Sacred Woman Practitioner Sherry Unk.
And I am your holistic healthcare coach, self-care coach, Chantel Sierta Shakim. We are truly here to help you
Speak
speak
out
out
and
and
fix your
fix your
crown.
crown in the process. So until next time, peace and love.
Peace. I'm like how they do that face, the young girls these days. Peace. Till next
Peace.
time.
Until next time.